Welcome everybody. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys how you can always beat YASUO in mid lane. And YASUO is one of the most challenging champions to beat due to his strong early laning, short cooldowns, dashes, passive shield, resource generation. He's got it all, he's got everything. So the main thing you need to understand about YASUO is that he's a lane bully, okay? And for us to understand how he wants to bully lane, we gotta look at what his champion does. He can do two types of trading patterns. He can do short bursty trading patterns where he chips away at you, uses his shield to go in, you can't really hit him back, and then he uses his D-shield and a second wind to then regenerate back up, and therefore he can win short trades. But not only that, he can also take extended trades on the long lane with his lethal tempo, and he can then force all-ins with his short cooldowns lethal tempo, and he might just completely annihilate you. Now, one of these trading patterns is more annoying than the other. The more annoying one is the extended trades one. If you ever find yourself in a position versus YASUO where you can take an extended trade with his lethal tempo and his Q, you will basically always lose. So we need to manage the waves in such a way that we are always preventing YASUO from getting these extended trades. So the number one most important thing to do whenever you play with YASUO in lane is manage your waves well. Now, what does proper wave management look like? Well, proper wave management looks like positions where YASUO cannot all-in you. And this can be many different ways. You can be totally fine on a neutral wave state because he doesn't have the space to all-in you. You can be totally fine when the wave is stuck in this position on your side. He can't all-in you. You're totally fine if you got a massive, big-ass wave slow building onto him because he can't all-in you because there's so many minions that are defending you, you can actually stand your ground. The worst wave state that you can have is a wave state that's fast pushing into him, so he can either freeze it, or a wave that just ends up frozen right here where you don't crash it on time and it just ends up frozen. If you ever get yourself in one of these wave states, you wrap it up, you're going to lose, okay? So wave management is the key to playing into YASUO. And what you'll find is that a lot of these YASUO players, there's absolute psychopaths, okay? So if you don't give them the opportunity to constantly fight and all-in you, they're going to start forcing these all-ins, because that's the only way these YASUO players know how to win. So they're going to start suiciding, they're vulnerable to ganks, they're going to do stupid shit, and they're going to make incredibly stupid macro decisions. These YASUO players, 9 out of 10 YASUO players, as a brain of a peanut. That's literally what you got to keep in mind. You don't need to like really beat him in the trades, just let him beat himself. That's like the mindset. This is of course not... We're going to take a look at the VOD that I played of Azir vs YASUO. Of course, Azir is one of the weakest early game laners. And we're going to really see this wave management into play. Now, another key thing that you want to do with YASUO is you want to understand that level 1, he can either take E or he can take Q level 1. Usually, E is the more threatening spell. So you want to think as if YASUO is always going to take E level 1 and he's going to E onto your face. Why is this good for him? Because YASUO plays the War of Attrition with second wind and with D-shield. And this leads to him being in a position where if we trade equally, he wins because he's got regen and I do not. So you want to prevent trade. You want to play trade avoidant. That's the mindset. Now, knowing that YASUO wants to eat through the minions on top of you, you want to stand in such a way that you don't allow him to do that. Versus YASUO, you always want to stand more outside of the wave, because that way he struggles eating on top of your face. Because if if I'm standing right here, he can just do E, bam, hit me. But if I'm standing outside, he needs to do this, and then needs to walk this and like this. Or he needs to be here in front of me and he needs to do this and then he needs to do this. So standing outside of the wave is actually very powerful versus YASUO, and it's going to make it really hard for him to get proper E angles onto you. Not only that, you got to anticipate that he's going to go for you, and that's exactly what I do here, and I space it out. So if you can anticipate him for trading, what you then do is you then force him to push the wave. And you see right here, I anticipate him going on to me through these minions, so I perfectly space it out. And I'm now in a position where I'm basically not getting hit while the wave is pushing towards me. So I can just avoid the wave, avoid the lane and the trading right now and freeze the wave on my side. And this is the perfect wave management. You see perfect spacing on the YASUO E. I am not giving him free hits. I'm constantly trying to proc off his passive as well. That is like my goal. Keep his passive proc. That way it's harder for him to find these engages with his E. And I'm just trying to hit him every single time that he comes in. So I slightly chunk him the moment he comes for these minions. And you see that this wave state allows me to be in a position where I'm totally safe. And I'm trying to thin out the minions while not pushing it too hard. That's like my mindset. I'm just keeping it at that spot. And of course, if YASUO does nothing here, the wave will very slowly push towards his side, but it doesn't really matter because then we get a big ass slow push, which we can use to defend ourselves. Plus, most YASUO players are so impatient, by the way. They will not let the slow push happen. They're just going to fight for the death. You see what he's doing here? He needs to get that Q, dude. These YASUO players, they need to get a trade like that. They can't not trade. They can't not trade. And if they don't trade, great. We stay full HP, we avoid the lane. The moment you get to mid game, whatever champ you're playing, you're going to always beat these YASUO players because they got no macro, okay? They literally got no macro. Like I said, they got a peanut brain most of the time. The only thing they know is fight. Micro, fight, all in. And you see right here, he doesn't even know what to do about this wave state. He's killing himself, right? This is pure wave management, allowing me to be in a good position. And because I finally got into a position where right now, I actually took some good quality trades because of the fact that he's been trying to bomb the wave in. I now have a position where I can now slow push the waves onto him and eventually get a position where I can get out of this awkward wave state. So you see that the wave now pushes towards him. Great. There's multiple solutions if you ever find yourself in a position where the wave state pushes towards him. Solution number one, you're going to build the biggest slow push ever and you're going to make sure that it crashes. Great solution. Absolutely phenomenal. That way you're going to make it harder for YASUO to ult you. Another thing that you want to do, that you can potentially do, is you can stand in the minions to bait him to trade into you. And every YASUO player falls for this. If you see that the wave is pushing towards him and you want to prevent it from getting frozen, just stand in the wave, take a little bit of a chunk, let him trade onto you, and then he's going to AoE the minion wave. Because the minions are going to attack him, which means that they're not attacking the enemy minions, which means that it slows down the push. Plus most of the time YASUO go for EQ combos, which leads to be in a position where they AoE the wave. And in no time, the wave will be pushing back towards you. Wave management is the key to beating YASUO in lane, guys. So we're now in a position where we nicely slow push the waves towards the YASUO. We eventually get a spot where we can just crash this big wave. And it's really hard for YASUO to do anything because he's a little bit lower. I'm full HP, still got a potion up as well. And because I prevented him from getting these nasty trades onto me, that's why I'm in this position, right? And now I can just nicely get the crash and I'm out of this awkward wave state. So this is what we do on repeat versus YASUO, by the way. We do this on repeat. Now, if you ever find yourself in a position where the wave state is screwed and there's no way for you to fix it, don't suicide, right? What you need to do is either wait for your jungle, ask for your jungle to come, or bait out trades, right? Try to bait out trades without putting him in a position where he can actually get on top of you. And we do that by standing outside of the wave. Now, you see that this wave management here is really what's making it hard for YASUO to play. The moment the wave is on my side, I'm always chilling. I'm in a really happy position. And this is what allows me to survive, get through the lane, and eventually you get to the point where you get actually quite strong as whatever champion you're playing, maybe playing Azir or any other champ. And you can just, once again, hold the wave on your side and start contesting him a little bit more. Eventually, the strength of beating YASUO is that you don't play his game, which is the trading game and the heavy laning game, but you want to rather play the game of what your champion wants to play. If you're playing a team fighter or control mage, start team fighting front to back. He's going to be absolutely useless. If you're playing Akali, well, great. You lose the first few levels, but that's totally fine because the moment you get a few levels in your Q, you get your W, few items, you can eventually beat him in the side. And this is the mindset of how to play the YASUO. Don't contest him too much in the lane. Understand that he is a stronger laner. Accept the fact that he's a stronger laner and play your own game of League of Legends.